So for those of you who know someone with a medical career, or maybe you have a medical career, you are going to love this next book, whether you are a medical researcher, a medical educator, or maybe even a doctor or a nurse. Dr. Xuemei Zhong has a lesson for you. She is the author of The Joy of Letting Go of Your Medical Career, the Ultimate Quitter's Guide to Flourish Without the Burnout. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Xuemei Zhong. Hello. Well, it's great to see you. I want to make sure that you are nice and close to me. And I want to talk about the joy of letting go of your medical career. You had a medical career. You have let it go in ways. Was that joyful for you? Is this a story of your own journey? Why did you write this book?
At the beginning, definitely it's so far away from joyful. So I wrote this book for anyone in the medical field who are physically and mentally exhausted. And they're trying to figure out, is there any other ways to bring health and wellness to this world without sacrificing our own? So this book is really going to help them to get out of that struggle that I personally experienced for many years.
Yeah. So your goal with this book is to help people to find, is it always to quit, or are there ways you think to stay and be happy? What do you think you've discovered now that you're on the other side?
I feel joyful right now because before I get to this side, I was 80% of the time locked in my office, endlessly writing research grants just to keep our research funded. But I was pleasing the reviewers, the fund, the investors for their purpose, not what I want to do. I want to be mentoring my students, doing my research, and tell people how wonderful our body is that can, help keep us, safe and healthy. But I was not doing all of that. But now I'm doing all of that by also including writing this book.
I love that. It's fantastic. I think for so many people, they think they have to take the bad with the good, like if you want to actually help people and teach them about the body, you're going to have to spend all this time writing grants. But there are always alternatives, even if you can't see them. I love that you found them. So I want to talk about your book writing journey and the obstacles that you had to overcome to write your book. First of all, I want to ask you, what do you think was for you the biggest obstacle you had to overcome?
It's interesting. The biggest obstacle for writing my book is the same as the obstacle for those biomedical professionals. They cannot get to the other side. It's because they cannot see what the next step is. It's like you're trying to cross this gigantic river, but you couldn't find the stepstones or the bridge. And you wanted to, but you're intimidated on that. So my book and also the process I write the book with you are actually the same, is to really bring up these steps, become obvious to them. And if they go through the process and the steps was rising magically, like what I did writing this book, with this magical method you put in. And, it's just like this author's feeling state is really gets us to connect to higher self. And that's the thing, get this speed up. And if I'm not using this to write my book, this book will be like still sitting there in the thinking stage and will not be realized maybe in 8 years instead of 8 weeks. And that's the same process I'm going to teach people as well.
I love that. I want to show people your book. Here it is, The Joy of Letting Go of Your Biomedical Career, the Ultimate Quitter's Guide to Flourish Without the Burnout. I have watched Dr. Xuemei Zhong flourishing without the burnout in our group. We nominated her to be the class president because you are a natural mentor and teacher, and you've helped everybody in this group. So I know your book is going to help lots of people too. Congratulations, Dr. Xuemei Zhong. Zhong. Get her book and send it to a medical professional you know and love today. So congratulations.